Every day is upside down day in Soundschi land. Hi and welcome to the Soundschi land show where everybody's upside down. We just came back from Bali where we attended the Bali Handstand Retreat, or Spin Bali Retreat is what they call it too. So I'm gonna tell you all about it. It was really cool. We had 3 teachers, Rihanna Cavewalker, Chris Carlos, and Sarah Yassin. So this was not like the average retreat where you just had one teacher and like you only did handstands, but it was more like a mixture of handstands, hand-to-hand acrobatics, and we also had yoga. Rhiannon and Chris did handstands and hand-to-hand with us, and Sarah did yoga, acro yoga, and some Thai massage, which was really nice. So it was a really good balance of things, and it was really interesting to dive into the new subjects that I wasn't really used to working on. The retreat was held at the Arc, a little bit outside of Ubud in Bali, which was a beautiful place, very private, but we were not all staying there because they didn't have enough space for all of us. We were 23 or 24 people, I'm not sure about the exact number, but we were quite a lot. On all the other retreats I've been to until now, we've been like a max of 13, 14 people. So at first I was like, how's it gonna be with so many people? Because it can get crowded, and the training space was actually, we just fit in perfectly. If it would have been more people, it could have gotten too crowded. But I was actually surprised. It was great because we had such a full schedule, and I'll tell you about the schedule in a minute. Because we had such a full schedule with so many different things, workshops, classes, not everybody was attending everything all the time, so it got evened out just perfectly. Okay, the schedule. It was really interesting. We had regular handstand classes. So we did everything from starting with the basics on the first day to one-arm handstand progressions to a press training. And we even did act creation and some creative work, which was so cool to do for me because I've never really been instructed in that. And so yeah, that was one of my favorites. Then we had hand-to-hand and acro, where we were introduced into the basics of how to actually get started, which was what I attended because I had never really done it before. And to my surprise, I ended up doing standing hand-to-hand as a flyer, which I never would have thought of. I was super scared actually at the beginning before we started. Or like, let's put it this way. I've tried to do hand-to-hand before, only on the floor, but I was even scared to get up on the ground. You know, when you have your partner lying on the ground and you just jump up on the hands. Even that was weird and scary, and I never would have thought that I would even like going further and doing standing hand-to-hand. But we had quite some amazing people there. People who even perform acrobatics. So it was really inspiring to watch them and just kind of, I don't know. I guess I got bitten by a bug, and it can get quite addictive once you get into it, I think. The third part of the schedule was the whole like yoga oriented part, where we had a yoga class every day at 7 a.m. in the morning. We had acro yoga, therapeutic acro yoga, which was really nice, Thai massage, and it was a great complement to the other training, which was pretty intense. So having the massage classes or like therapeutic acro yoga in between was great to restore and help recovery. And then in the evenings we had jams where you could practice whatever you wanted. And that was great because of course, if you have so many inputs and like you're learning so many new things, you can take the time to just focus on what's important to you, or just take time off. And that was actually the nice thing about this retreat, is that no class was mandatory. You could just go to whatever class you wanted or just not go. And it was pretty like loose, but the atmosphere was really great and motivating. So I tried to do as many classes as I could. I only did one yoga class of the regular yoga classes. And then I realized, oof, that's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too intense. And I mostly stuck to handstands and hand-to-hand and the creative stuff. But yeah, it was great that there was a choice. About the teachers, oh my God. They are some of the greatest people I've ever met. So Rhiannon is like, she's just a ball of energy. Also, she has the most direct way of speaking, so it seems like whatever comes to her mind, she just spits it out, and she uses whatever words come to her mind first. So it's really entertaining at times, and I mean, she's just a born stage person, so it's really, she really knows how to keep your attention when she's teaching. And it was not only that, also her cues that she gave me were they really created some aha moments for me, especially in one arm. It was mainly about the positioning of my shoulder in one arms. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I tend to rotate in my one arms on the right side especially. I actually managed to get that more or less under control through understanding the positioning better and like the way I need to stabilize my shoulder. The big aha moment I had was when we were mimicking the one arm position standing on our feet, and she told us to push the shoulder inward and also the elbow inward. So we have the pressure on the inside, like in this area of our hand. And then as a next step, she said, suck in this part. So there's this muscle, this part in here under the armpit or shoulder that I just try to suck in basically to kind of counteract the push. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but in the end I just had a way more stabilized feeling in my shoulder. In a very weird way, I just felt so much more solid. And I think you can also see it in my videos when I do my fingertip holds. The position looks way better. My shoulder position is higher and more stable. And so is my whole body. So yeah, thanks to Rhiannon. Of course I did an interview with her, so stay tuned for that. It's a very interesting one in my opinion. Moving on to Chris. Chris, oh my God, he is the most encouraging person I've ever met. Hard to compare. They're also encouraging. But like, he made me do hand-to-hand. And he took away my fear. He's basically the only person who I've flown with hand-to-hand in standing. But yeah, like I said, I never would have thought that I was even capable of doing that in my mind. Because scary as fuck. But yeah, it's actually not that hard. As a flyer, you really need to learn to let go of rebalancing yourself. My main key lessons from him were just how to be a flyer. So generally, you have to do nothing. Just keep your position. And the biggest struggle for me was not to rebalance myself constantly, because I'm so used to balancing on the floor. My body just has this reflex of rebalancing automatically as soon as I get out of alignment. And so in hand-to-hand, you're not supposed to rebalance yourself. The base is supposed to do all the work, while the flyer just stays stiff basically in its position. And so that was a huge challenge, and Chris helped a lot. So much, oh my God, in understanding how what sensations I should create in gripping the hand, and he was just such a patient base because everybody was on top of him because he was the teacher, and so he was yeah, he also has a lot of experience, so everybody wanted to use him as a base, and he was so patient and helped everybody, and he was so inclusive also of all the people who were inexperienced. But that also goes for all the people who were more experienced. Like some of the guys who were at a higher level, they were always there to help. And so generally the atmosphere was just really good for learning. It was also so nice to have many different levels in one place. We had people who were, I'd say, yeah, some scratching at one arm, some already solid in one arm, and then some just learning how to do a 2-arm handstand. And everybody was kind of feeding off each other and supporting, which was awesome. Last but not least, moving on to Sarah, our yoga teacher. I was surprised that it was actually so good to have this part in the retreat. Because retreats are always about working hard and destroying your body. And just having these sessions of Thai massage and restorative Acro yoga, that was really good. And I was actually quite surprised how weak I was in everything other than handstands. That first yoga class I did, it was pretty intense for me. I'm flexible. I consider myself fairly strong, but it was actually something that my body wasn't used to, so that was interesting to see. Aside from the classes, we had a great time. We went to dinner together. We went to a pool on the last day, took some pictures. Yeah, we had a pool in the venue, like at the venue. What else? So breakfast was included if you wanted it to be included. They didn't take care of the other food, so everybody was free to just do whatever they wanted in the breaks, which was fine because we had restaurants and cafes just outside of the venue. The people who attended the retreat in general were highly interesting. Not only was everybody at different levels, but also we had people from many different directions. We had dancers, we had actors, we had power lifters, we had Acro circus people, performers, yeah, people coming from yoga. So it was really interesting to just have this mixed group, and the nice thing was everybody was so open and like willing to learn from others and exchange their experiences. The last thing I want to mention that was highly positive about this retreat was Mel's organization skills. Mel is the person who organized the whole retreat. Oh my god, she's like a Monica. If you know Friends, she's at the level of Monica when it comes to organization, but she looks like Rachel. You look like Rachel, Mel. We even got t-shirts. Can you see that? On the first day, all of us got t-shirts, and just the whole thing was so well organized. Everybody knew what was happening. At the beginning, we had an introduction session where we all came together and everybody could say who they were and like where they came from, what they're doing. And that was nice just to get to know everybody. And we had plenty of group time. And at the end, we did a big round of feedback and like, yeah, which got pretty emotional, which was nice. But yeah, all in all, it was organized perfectly. The last trip we took to that pool, they actually invited us. That was not on the schedule, but because it was going so well, people were so happy, and yeah, all in all, it was an amazing experience. And if you have the chance to go next year, I highly recommend it. It's a great place to immerse yourself into handstands and acrobatics under the guidance of amazing teachers. So I'm really thankful for this experience. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else you'd like to know. Otherwise, hop on my website, subscribe to the newsletter for weekly interviews, tutorials, tips, tricks. We have some interviews coming up from Bali now. And other than that, it's never too late to do what you love, and I'll see you next Monday on the Soundschi Show. Thanks for watching.